Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to some spooky crafts that we're going to be doing the month of October. You should have seen at least six or seven, and you've only seen one live stream. I did a video, it did not work out, etc., etc., etc. I am having technical difficulties with this one as well, so hopefully we get it together. We're going to go ahead and just jump right in because we have a lot to do, darlings, a lot to do. All right, so first thing is welcome to Ray's Mortuary. Who is Ray? We don't know. It's just named after Ray because the guy that works the front desk, his name is John. Okay, not John Ray, not Ray John. Ray is the owner. John. Well, John, he's been missing a couple of days now. And we have a new fill in. Her name is Lefty. And she is not very talkative. She just does what she needs to do and she sleeps with the lights on. So, anyway, we have got a few things that we're going to be working on, some prep stuff, right? So, this is a coffin picked up from Michael's, I want to say last year. I think it was last year. Clearance. Maybe year before last. I don't know. It was definitely on clearance because the price that I peeled off said $2.99. I can't see myself buying this for $2.99, even a half off, $1.50. No, 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 no. Now, back in the day, the dollar store, $1.25 tree, had these for a buck. Not the same size and probably not the same quality. I would venture out on a crafter's limb and say that the stuff you get from Michael's probably has one extra inspection than some of the stuff you get from the Dollar Tree. Some of the stuff. Some of the name brand things, you know, just an abundance. Because some of the Dollar Tree stickers or at were in the past. I don't know about now, but we're at not Walmart. We're at Michael's, and I think I've seen some at Hobby Lobby as well. So yeah, no surprise there that the same stuff is being sold. I still feel like the quality control is probably a little bit better. These are two different shapes. Like this is flat and the other one's curved. So there we go. Sometimes I can pay attention. I heard y'all. You know, can't even see what you're doing. Well, that's because I don't know what I'm doing. No, no, no. I have an idea. I want to let you know that Lefty, she hails from Imagination Land and she is the kind of person, like I said, that will do the job. It may not be most sufficient or suffice, but she gets it done in this setting. She does not like the owner of the spot where she works. She feels like this is a front for something else. He's up to some nefarious things, and she is looking for a way out of it, out of this business. She arrived in town. This was the only place hiring. When she went to look for a local, she replied to the help wanted sign. Now, the help wanted sign was at a diner. So, you let me know what's going on with that. Anywho, in her travels, she's seen a lot of things. She's done a lot of odd jobs, from putting pianos on strings and hanging them out the window to being a stagehand and to being living art. So she's picked up a few things. She's able to read people a little bit better sometimes. Now her task is to set these caskets up for viewing because her and her boss, are going on a road show because he wants people to know how sturdy his caskets are. So she is tasked with painting them sateen And she's like, I'm pretty sure that's satin. He's like, it's sateen. And she's like, okay, the boss. It's sateen. So he only told her to paint the outside. Don't make it look too sloppy. She takes it a step further. She's painting the inside as well. All the hardware. She asks him for a screwdriver. He says, listen, kid, your demands will not be tolerated much longer. She's like, okay. So she paints everything the color that he asked her to. She does not talk much. She needs the money. Why? Are you wondering why she needs the money? She's trying to get out of this spot. She's a drifter, owner. Her destination is nowhere, but she's been everywhere. So anyway, this is a little bit tacky, of course, because I just painted it and I touched it. So you need to be mindful of that. You should probably let it dry if you have some gloves or a different method of doing it. This wood is kind of thirsty as well, which is great for what we're going to be doing. We are painting it black. I do plan on covering it up, I think, maybe. I don't know yet because we'll have to see. I do hope that you're enjoying the story. I'm making it up as we go. But yes, all seriousness, you want to let it dry a little bit before you start craft or handling it. Or if you have some to dry your hands off, it's fine. It does kind of peel off, which is okay. If you do decide to do this is your first time watching, I do recommend, and you're like, oh, I want to try that. I do recommend you using a sheet of nonstick paper. If you have a nonstick craft mat, that would be best. Or you can just go into the kitchen and get the Reynolds wrap, cling wrap, or some parchment paper or some wax paper. If you make cookies and you don't send me any, then we're still friends. It's okay. But that's what I recommend you do. And then you can put it on there and it should not stick as much. I went to the kitchen. I went to look for it and I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do it. So with this, I'm just trying to remember to go up and down, except for in these corners. We need to kind of brute force these corners. I do have a few paint brushes. This is probably my favorite paintbrush. Again, I'm not an actual artist of paint, but it's flat and wide enough for what I like to do, so I do enjoy that. Now for these nooks and crannies, we could use some of these smaller paint brushes if we so desired to do that, but I really, I don't like to do it. So, back to the story. Back to the story, darlings. All right, so Lefty and Array arrive at their first tour spot, destination, and Ray's like, hey kid, set this up right here. Let me tell you where Ray wants to set these coffins up, y'all. At the amusement park. Carnival season. So Lefty's like, right here, sir. Kid, don't call me sir, he tells her. Okay, Mr. Ray, stop with the politeness. Just set it up like I said. Okay. And she sets it up. And she's like, the paint's not even finished drying yet. He said, do what I tell you to do. She doesn't like that. She doesn't think that he has very good manners. So she's like, okay, after this job, she's in her head, after this job, I'm quitting. He looks at her. He's like, hey, kid, don't think about quitting. Said you do 2 rides with me. This is ride number 1. You don't get the money if you don't complete your side of the deal. Now she's thinking, I should stuff his butt in one of these coffins and push him over the side. See how he likes that. As cheap as they are, they probably break apart, is what she says. And then she starts laughing. And he looks at her like, ooh, maybe I should let her go because she's done that laugh way too many times. He doesn't really know her background. Someone is setting up coffins, doesn't do a quality control background check on their employee. But nonetheless, they go about the day. Ray's doing all kinds of old timey sales pitching, trying to get people to buy these coffins. Because if they can get, in his head, if he can get a steady clientele of people that like the quality of work, he could market, he could franchise, he could be bigger than John's delightful mortuary. His favorite person that he loves to not like is John. All right, so now we're going to decorate this top, and I'm using this paper pad because it's just here. Um, I don't know if we're going to have any good colors to go with this. I did paint it black because I wanted to cover up most of the coffin with the paper, at least the front and maybe the inside. So we'll have to see. Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and do this portion real quick. I'm going to put this here. This one's still drying, so that is what's going on with that one. You're probably like, why didn't you do this before? I don't know. I don't know. I'm tracing this out, and I'm going to cut inside of the lines because I do want this black paint to show. I mean, we did all this hard work. Went through 25 takes, literally. And we wanted to show. We definitely wanted to show. But, so, Ray saw Lefty with the sign at the diner. He hurry ups and he goes and says, "Hey, kid, you looking for a job?" And he has like a sly snicker on his face. And she's looking at the help wanted sign and she was like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" Sarcastically, of course. He was like, "Well, one can put, I can add two and two, and there we go." Now, if you have any inkling that you're going to be covering up your paint job, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can actually trace this, put on top, and sand down the sides to make it look a little bit more neat. But what I'm doing is going to work very well, I believe. I have faith in me. I hope you have faith in you. And if it's off a little bit, like you see how we got this white piece at the top, no big deal. No big deal, darlings. No big deal. All right. So you see, it's almost perfect. Yay, us. A little bit off. I do recommend you get your sander or some scissors to, to file it down if you need to file it down before you start gluing anything to it. We're going to do it like this. I think we're going to leave the outside naked. We're going to put this on the inside. Do I want that? Do I want to go through that trouble? That's the question. I really like this pattern. You all know that, right? Okay. We're cutting on the inside where that black print was. Oh, hopefully it's enough. It will be enough because what's about to happen in our story, you will not believe it. You're going to be like, what? So as they have parked at the carnival, everyone kind of thinks that they're a sideshow, right? Ray is not happy about that. He's not very pleased. but he's getting customers to show up and come over. And so they're like, "Oh, how sturdy is this coffin? Could it fit in any of, you know, people of different sizes?" And he says, "This is top of the line, grade C carpentry," meaning the carpentry is not the best, but to get the job done. And he says, they won't know. And so they said, "Oh, well, where's the trick?" Because again, they're the carnival. And he's like, "Trick? It's no trick." Lefty's like, "You do realize that you parked at a carnival," as she had stated previously. And he gets upset with her. So she says, "You know what? I'm going to write something down for you. You want to make some money? I'm going to write something down for you. You're going to do this. And we're going to get more money than you ever think you could get from selling coffins." So she writes down this thing that he's supposed to do and say. And he's not happy because now she's calling the shots. And she says, "Trust me, Ray, we'll make lots of money. How much did you think you were supposed to make today anyway? If you're gotta take an order and then go and get the coffin manufactured." And he kind of looks at her like, "You may not be that dumb after all." So this is a glow in the dark bones person. And what we're gonna do, because this guy doesn't move, we've already broken his leg a little bit. And I want him to sit up in this coffin, right? So I want him to sit up in this coffin. I'm gonna try not to break it too much because I don't want to use too much hot glue. I'm gonna bend this some. If you have a hot, the things that heat when you press the button, a heating tool, you should be able to manipulate this plastic a little bit easier. If we have to crack it and break it, that's okay because I mean, should have did what he needed to do. So Lefty goes and she gets out a skeleton out the back of the truck. And Ray's like, "Where did that come from?" She's like, "Don't worry about it." And she looks at him. So now Ray's worried. Ray should be worried because that skeleton may be real because he doesn't know Lefty's history, right? So what I'm trying to do is sit this daggone skeleton in this thing and have his leg like that. So I've already broken this one. I could break his toxic. Then this one, this one. Oh, hit this guy here. Leg. We're gonna get this figured out. Trust me. So Lefty goes and she gives him a script to read. And he's reluctant, but he reads the script and he's like, "Okay, I think I could do this." And she says, "You have your visual and she tells him, "You have your visual clues and you have your verbal clues. Don't do anything until I let you know when to do them." So these came from the 99 cents only store. They are mini bones and it's 20 pieces. I don't know if we could actually connect these pieces together or not. And it looks like we can, which is super cool. I don't know if they intended on us being able to do that, but yeah. His spine even kind of rocks back and forth. If these knees bent, that would be even better, though. We're gonna put this inside of here like that. Yeah, so that would have been a lot easier to do. His arms still need to be kind of bent and broken. And then the skull piece doesn't go on. But yeah, we're working with bones over here, right? And we're gonna sit on this pumpkin. So 1 foot up. Knees can be bent a little. I think we're gonna get him a book. We're gonna make him a book. All right, so okay. Now this guy's head doesn't have a hole in it. So go right there. I'll poke one. Here, that little spot that looks like it was supposed to get poked but didn't get poked. All right, so got that going. These are the heads. So this head would be better than the one that we have, because it should have been through the base, I think, not the back base. So let's do the base real quick. So I don't decorate for Halloween that much, but I've made a few things this year that are borderline, is she okay? You know, like our princess that we created that got left at the altar. And then we have the candles that we made last month. And now we have this situation going on. I'm okay. That's all I wanted to let y'all know. I don't have to blink twice, anything like that. I'm okay. We're going to go ahead and heat this up. And what we're going to do while this is heating up, I'm going to pull out a few random Tim Holtz things, like some numbers or something, and see if we can't put that on the side. Now, I'm not big into a lot of creepy stuff as I drill holes in a skeleton's head, right? But honestly, I'm not that person that's like, ooh, creepy. I don't really do that kind of stuff. I don't get into it that often. But when I do, I want to have fun crafting and creating and you know, immersing myself into it. So that's what we're doing today. We're having some fun. Hopefully you get inspired. I did not see this on anyone's anything. I just thought it would be really cool to try and do this. I have a lot of wood pieces and I like little figures and things like that. So yeah, I think it'd be really nice to do. Or I felt that it would be nice to do, I should say. I'm looking for a sheet of paper. We're going to take, I think I have, oh yeah, I have some already cut up paper. Because you know I am the queen of scraps. So we don't need that right now. We're going to just take this sheet and we're going to cut rectangle. Does it need to be even? Yeah, it really does. We're going to fold this over at wherever the point looks most even. Here we go. And we're going to take some of this paper right here that we have. Because once I finish with this paper, we're going to toss it in the trash. So we can do whatever we like with this particular paper. And we're going to just take it and fold it in 2 sections. So 1, 2, or maybe 3. Can we get 3 out of this? We sure can. So 3, right? The only thing that's missing from my skeleton at this moment is a top hat. If he had a top hat, that would be so cool. So the glue gun is ready to go. I'm going to dip it in this water. Give it a little bit of crinkly looking. We'll go ahead and use some regular glue. This. Put this in. 1, 2, 4. I was really smart. I would have wrote on the pages before I messed them up. But we'll let that dry and then we'll go and write some squiggly cook food cookbook recipes, some enchantments, right? It's so funny when you think about these books that people use in their movies and things like that. If you are a witch, a goblin, something evil, it's not good. But if you are a good witch, goblin, or whatever, it's okay. It's an enchantment, not a spell. So the book is overflowing. It's okay. I want to dry out some. So now what we're going to do is going to take our pumpkins, take the stem out, glue. Okay. Top. Now, where did I get these from? You're probably wondering. You might not be Dollar Tree. It says it's 10 on a stick. So, I mean 10, and they are on a stick. Just putting this here. This is just styrofoam, colored styrofoam. So be mindful of that. Okay. Now you see this side is more over and this side is not. And I put the pumpkins in the side that you can see that it's kind of wonky. Not intentionally. I still would like to use him. I know what we'll do, so no worries. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use Bob right here. His head is still off, but that's okay. Looks cool to me. All right, so we have Bob sitting here. I need to rotate his shoulder blades a little bit. Also turn his hand. Okay, and the same thing with this. So I'm trying to be as gentle as possible to keep the actual adhesion that the manufacturers did on it before I go in here all willy-nilly and then, oh, I got some hot glue. I could just glue it all together. No worries. No, no, no. We don't want to do that. All right, so now we're going to put it right here on his pelvic area. You know you're going to get a lesson of anatomy, did you? I didn't either. I didn't know I was going to have to use those terminologies today. All right. He's like, oh, my back. My butt's on fire. My butt is burning. All right. We're going to take his head, put that glue right there. All right, so now, got that. And cross his leg. Come on now, no. Stay with us, stay with us. Did we give him a name? If we did, I forgot his name. Call him Charlie, I guess. All right, so now Ray has read the script a few times, and Lefty's still getting the act together. And so she's positioning the skeleton. Now, this is all behind a curtain so no one can see. And Ray is just looking at her. He's like, "Kid, you look like you've done this before." And she looks up at him, smiling like, "You just don't know how many times before, Ray." She doesn't say that. She just looks at him with a smile, like a smug smile, is like, "Maybe, maybe I have, maybe I haven't." Just gonna hold this together to try and make sure these glues stick together. Okay. All right, so his legs are crossed. Yes. I love it already. I mean, we done. Look at that. Great. So anyway, so he says, "Ray, just read the script." Fine. So the script is, I'm gonna cut this right here, okay? The script is how Charles came to be. Is that the name we gave him, Charles? I think it was. I'll go ahead and do some squiggly. Just want to just approach. So Charles is in his house, in his coffin, and he's telling the story of betrayal, betrayal, all kinds of things that could happen to one. They are not faithful to their friends. And so he tells a story about how he and two of his other friends go out on this trip. So what is he doing right now? He looks like he's sitting on the toilet, right? But no, he's sitting at home reading a book. He's just reading a book. Nothing fancy. Reading a book. Need this to stay like that. Ugh. That probably should have had some glue attached to it and just held it. Um, I think. There we go. Oh, all right. I'm gonna glue his arms together. I think we're gonna do this in two parts. So I think I'm gonna stop here. I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and then you'll see the next one the following day, the completed version. So I want to say thank you all for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.